Peace, brothers and sisters in humanity. I'm back again. Now we're going to talk about this hadith, okay? Hadith, how the Prophet Mohamed married Safiya, okay? Let's just listen. I'm not going to say it, yeah? This Asaf Dawah video, yeah? Can you see that? Asaf Dawah. This is Dawah people, yeah? Let him talking. And before you make a stupid comment that how am I evil, how am I twisting anything, how am I doing this, how am I doing this? Hey, this is not from me. All right? I didn't come up with this. This is your books. All right? This is your books. I'm reading from your books. All right? The Sunni books. I'm actually letting you say the hadith. I'm just analyzing what you're saying. Okay? I'm just comparing what the Quran said and what this hadith said. Okay? And see if they contradict each other. If the hadith contradict the Quran. And most of them do. Let's listen.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Incognito Islamic Productions. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam married with Sayyida Safiya is another topic that the critics of Islam often take up.
Okay, when he says the critics of Islam, I am a Muslim. I'm not criticizing Islam, I'm criticizing hadiths. To me, Islam is the Quran, but to you, hadith is Islam. So that's where we differ, okay? Because what I do, I take the Quran, I studied it, and then I'm analyzing it against your hadiths. Let's just see what you say.
First, the Prophet, peace be upon him, he married a woman after killing her husband and father. So how could she be happy or even willing for it? Second, they state the rules of iddah, the waiting period were violated in this marriage. In the following, we will explain the whole issue in detail, from a hadith in Sahih Bukhari and elsewhere, as to what actually happened. Hadith Bukhari states, we conquered Khaybar and we took...
Okay, now, this is Hadith Bukhari, isn't it? Yeah, I'm not lying, am I? I'm not lying. So, first of all, he said we conquered Khaybar. That means he invaded Khaybar, okay? And in the Quran, he says the Prophet is not supposed to invade any land, all right? He only have to defend himself. Like, وَلَا تَعْدَدُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ الْمُعْتَدِينَ. Okay? So, here, the Prophet invaded other people's land, okay? Which is wrong. Wrong. It contradicts the Quran. And then he took captives. Okay, captives, let's say he took captives, all right? And the booty was collected. Came and said, oh Allah, Prophet, this guy came to him, Dihya, came to him and said, oh Prophet, give me a slave girl. So now, that's where the problem lays, all right? A slave girl, all right? This girl, she wasn't a fighter. Her only crime was she was a daughter and the wife of this man called, I don't know, he's a leader, okay? He's a leader of this tribe. So, if she wasn't a fighter, first of all, Islam came to get rid of slavery. And now this hadith is telling us the Prophet is making more slaves, which is contradict the Quran. I'm not saying anything new, am I? And she wasn't a fighter, so she was innocent. So now the Prophet is a bad man, all right? She wasn't a fighter. She has nothing to do with fighting. She was a woman in her house, and he made her into a slave. So that's against the Quran. Carry on. And then this guy came to me and said, give me a slave girl. And then the Prophet said, yeah, go and take any girl you want. All right, this is ISIS. This is how ISIS got their ideology. And then that guy took Safiya. And so someone else came to him and said, oh, the messenger, you gave Safiya bint Huyay to Dihya. And she is the chief mistress of the tribes. Okay? And he said to him, no, this is just befits none but you. Okay? So this guy comes from nowhere and telling the Prophet what to do. So the Prophet said, bring the first guy who took her and ask him to bring her with you. So he came back with her and he said, no, I'll keep her for myself. and then you can choose another girl. Then the Prophet here has changed his mind. So he didn't keep his word. Let's just carry on. And then, all right, let's carry on. Let's just go to the other side. Okay. And now this is the rest of the hadith, all right? Abu Hamza is first of all, when you read this hadith, right? We try to explain it, right? Why would you explain hadith? The only way you explain it, because it's clear here, right? This is the Bukhari, right? So for you to explain it any different way, you have to add things to it, like they do with the Quran. With the Quran, there's nothing there, but they want to add other things to it to explain it the way they want. And now, the Prophet, to marry her, in Islam, you need a dowry. A dowry is usually money. Not usually, it's money, okay? Or property, okay? But the Prophet didn't give her anything except that he freed her. He freed her, and then her freedom was her dowry, which is against the Quran, okay? And now, you can read all the hadith, yeah? There isn't anything to do with her had her period, or with her if she was pregnant and she had a baby. There's nothing here. All it says, he made her into a bride. He gave her freedom as a dowry, and then there is someone dressed her for the wedding, and that's about it. Okay, that's about it. I don't see anything. This is the whole hadith, but then again he goes and explain it by adding things to the hadith. And he said, this is the truth. This is what actually happened. Well, the truth is not in the hadith. The truth, you saying it. By adding things to it. And by saying that the Prophet, this woman, accepted the Prophet after killing her husband and her father, is mad, is sick, right? Because I don't think, even if she hated her husband, and even if she hated her father, she would not accept to this. That means here, there's no her accepting. In this hadith, there isn't a single thing saying about her, she accepted the marriage. It looks like she was forced to marry him, because she had no choice. It didn't say how long, the hadith didn't say a month later. It seems to me that it happens like the first week or something. When you read it, you don't read anything to do with timing or how long, or it seems to me that it happened very quick. Okay, when you read it, there isn't anything to say that after a while or something like that. So why are you adding things to your own hadiths, right? Why are you defending the undefendable though? Why? I mean, come on, man. So the Prophet can invade, which is again, it goes against the Quran. The Prophet can make make people, imprison innocent people, which is against the Quran. The Prophet can make women into slaves, that's against the Quran. The Prophet can change his word, that's against the Quran. And the Prophet given a dowry as freedom, right? That's against the Quran. And the Prophet forcing someone to marry him, that's against the Quran. And you're trying to defend this. And you call yourself, you're actually following Islam. I don't know where you get this idea from, but you're not following the Quran at all. All this hadith does is goes against the Quran, against Islam, against humanity, against anything. Okay? How can you justify this? And you're trying to defend it. And you come up with explanations from your top of your heads when there is nothing there to suggest that otherwise. And then you blame ISIS. That's exactly what ISIS done. And you say ISIS are not Sunnis. The Sunnis, you practice what you preach. They actually practice what you preach. And when you get embarrassed, instead of saying, oh, there's hadiths, all right, let's just take him off the book. This is ridiculous, man. We can't have this hadith in our books. Instead of disbelieve in the hadith and get rid of him, because you worship the Bukhari, and you think the Bukhari is better than the Quran, so you keep the hadith in your books, that goes against the Quran. So here the book, you just throw the Quran under the bus because of this hadith, this Bukhari. See, you do not worship Allah. Honestly, you do not worship Allah. You worship the Bukhari. right? You worship the Bukhari and the Prophet in the Bukhari, not even the Prophet in the Quran. Because in the Quran, Allah said he's the perfect example and he's got the best manners. This hadith makes him into a monster. And one, you said criticizing. When anyone criticizes the hadith, that means the against Islam. No, I'm not. I'm against your ideology. I'm against your Bukhari. I'm not against the Quran. I'm with the Quran. And that's what Islam is. Islam is just the Quran. Okay? Stop giving Islam a bad name. That's all you need to do. Start worshipping Allah and Allah alone. Stop worshipping the Bukhari. Okay? And you're calling other people idolizers. You're doing worse than the people you accuse of. You're doing worse. You hide the truth with the hadith, right? You hide the Quran, okay, with the hadiths. And then you're worshipping people and clerics and imams, and you worship the Prophet Mohamed, right? And you worship the Prophet. You've got so many idols, unbelievable. And you have the audacity to actually accuse other people of doing what you're doing worse. It's just beyond belief, mate. Honestly, it's just crazy. This is mental, man. This is sick. I don't have the best manners, right? And I'm not the best example, but I will not marry a woman after killing her father and her husband. And you can't they come with other explanations and because she loved him even when she was with her husband and things like that, but they have no God. They try to explain it, to put makeup on it, but that's what the hadith is saying. This is exactly the hadith. So you're going to give us a hadith, okay? And then you have to explain it to us, okay? The way it suits you. So when we read the hadith, it doesn't say whatever you're saying to me. You can come up with 200 videos, but the hadith doesn't say what you're saying, okay? Your explanation has nothing to do with the hadith. So your Bukhari didn't even write the whole story. Is that what you're saying? So you add into it. And your clerics come and add to it, trying to explain it to us to make it okay. To make it like it's okay. It's okay to enslave, to invade other people's countries. It's okay to make slaves of their women. It's okay to I don't know, to marry them. It's just sick. It's just sick. Sick. You're defending sickness, all right? You believe in sickness. That's what you believe in. Peace.